It happened on the day I buried my husband, and I'll never forget that sound. My daughter-in-law's voice, hissing through clenched teeth at my own son. "Let's speed up the inheritance. I'm putting the old lady in a home." That's me, the old lady. And as I stood behind a wall of funeral lilies, grief slamming into me from every side, I realized right then, my biggest loss that day wasn't my husband. It was trust, and nobody saw it coming but him. Let me back up. My name's Evelyn Parker. Until last week, I was just your typical grandmother. Quiet, stubborn, a little set in my ways, I'll admit. 30 years in the same 2-story house, 2 generations raised here, a magnolia tree out front that my husband, Henry, planted himself. And then Henry died. He went quietly, just like he lived. I thought that losing him would be the hardest thing I'd ever face. Turns out, the real heartbreak was waiting just around the corner, disguised in black dresses and polite condolences. The funeral was beautiful, if a funeral can ever be called that. The whole town came, old teachers, neighbors, people I hadn't seen since the boys played Little League. My son, David, held my hand so tight I thought he'd never let go. His wife, Melissa, floated around like some perfect grieving angel, face set just right. Nobody but me saw the steel in her eyes. Afterward, I needed a moment alone. I slipped into a side room, still shaking, eyes burning. I just wanted a breath, one tiny break from all that pain. Instead, what I got was a knife in the back. "We need to move this along. I'm putting the old lady in a nursing home," Melissa said in that clipped way of hers. "Speed up the inheritance." David's voice followed, softer, guilty, the way only sons can sound. "Melissa, not today. She's already fading. She won't fight it." I froze. For one wild second, I wanted to walk in there and throw something. Maybe the vase, maybe just myself, just to make them look me in the eye. But I didn't. I just listened. And right then, Henry's last words echoed in my head. "I've taken care of everything. You'll be safe. Trust me." Safe? Didn't feel like it. That night, I wandered the house in my funeral clothes, touching every stupid thing Henry left behind, his glasses, his crossword puzzle, his favorite cardigan still hanging by the door. I kept waiting to wake up from the nightmare, but every room just whispered, "You're alone now. You're in the way." I barely slept. I just sat there, watching the dawn come up through the kitchen window, trying to figure out what Henry meant. Had he known? Had he seen this coming? The next morning, the doorbell rings. There's Melissa, fresh as a daisy, holding a casserole dish and a brochure. "Morning, Evelyn. I brought you some chicken pot pie. I know how hard it is to cook for one." She sweeps in like she owns the place, poking through my cabinets, helping me organize. I snap a little. I've managed just fine with this kitchen for 30 years. She doesn't even flinch. "Of course. I just thought now that you're alone." That's the game. She's not even pretending it's about me. She slips the brochure across the counter. Private rooms, medical staff, peace of mind. I tell her, flat out, I'm not ready to leave my home. She gives me that smile, the one that says, "Just you wait." The second she leaves, I call Dr. Miles, our family physician for decades. "Doctor, did Henry ever say anything about me, about what he wanted after?" My voice is shaking. He sighs. "Evelyn, Henry asked me to assess your ability to live independently. He was worried you'd be pressured to move out before you were ready." I nearly dropped the phone. Is there any reason I'd have to leave?" "None at all. I have the paperwork already drawn up if you need it. You're sharp as ever." Turns out, Henry wasn't just talking about the funeral. He knew. He saw the storm before I did, and he left me a shield. Day after, there they are again, Melissa and David, both wearing those careful smiles, folder in hand. I can smell the battle before they even sit down. "Mom, we want to talk about some practical matters," David says, settling into Henry's old chair. I pour coffee for all three of us. "So do I." Melissa pulls out the brochure again. "There's a wonderful community, waiting list and all." I cut her off. "Actually, I've invited someone to join us." Melissa looks ready to throw a fit until the doorbell rings. In walks Sandra, Henry's home nurse from his last months. She's sharp-eyed, strong, and she's seen things. She sits down next to me, all business. I hand David the letter from Dr. Miles, confirming I can live on my own. His eyes go wide. Melissa's mouth snaps shut. For the first time, the air shifts. I see it in their faces. This old lady isn't going quietly. Just then, in walks Lily, my granddaughter, backpack and all. "Am I interrupting?" "Not at all, honey. We're just having a family talk." Lily's sharp. She figures it out in seconds. "What do you mean Grandma's moving? She's fine. She just taught me how to make lasagna last weekend." Melissa tries to hush her, but Lily's not having it. "I'm not a kid, Mom, and Grandma's not helpless." Bless that girl. She gives me a wink, and for the first time in days, I feel like I might actually win. But Melissa isn't done. "Evelyn, you have to be realistic. This house is too much. You need help." I look her dead in the eye. Help is one thing, kicking me out for a paycheck is another. They leave soon after, and the silence is thick. But it's a new silence, the kind that feels like loading a slingshot, like waiting for the right moment to snap. A week later, we're all squeezed into the stuffy office of our lawyer, Mr. Thompson. Same burgundy carpet, same fake ferns in the corner. Melissa is tapping her nails on the table. David looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. I'm stone silent. Mr. Thompson reads the will. I get the house, the contents, the insurance, everything Henry built for us. Melissa's face is blank. Then, "There's a clause," he says. "If Evelyn is pressured or forced to leave her home, and unless 2 independent doctors declare her unable to live alone, the house is sold and the proceeds go to Alzheimer's research. Nobody inherits." You could hear a pin drop. Melissa's mouth falls open. She looks at David, but he just stares at the table. "And there's one last thing," Mr. Thompson says, holding up 2 letters, one for me, one for David, nothing for Melissa. Outside, Melissa comes at me. "He did this to punish me. You know that, right?" I smile, just a little. "No, Melissa. He did it to protect me." She's seething. "We're trying to plan for Lily's college, for our future. Why are you being so selfish?" Selfish? I can barely get the word out without laughing. All I'm doing is living in my own house, the one I helped build for 30 years. She starts pacing. David tries to speak up. "Let's not do this here." Lily, bless her, walks right into the middle of the storm. "You know what? If you force Grandma out, you'll lose more than a house. You'll lose your family." Melissa freezes. The power shifts. I can see it, plain as day. That night, I sit on my bed, Henry's letter in my hands. "We may bend, Evelyn, but we don't break. You are stronger than you know." I press the letter to my chest, tears burning hot. But this time, they're not tears of fear. They're fire. And I know, as the night settles in around me, that I'm not the one who should be afraid anymore. "So, who would you trust?"